Welcome to the Sham Sharma Show and Happy New Year again. And because it's a new year, everybody has their own hopes and their own resolutions and what they'd like to see happen in this new year. And so do I. So this video today is going to be about 5 things, not 10, 5. 5 things that I would like to see happen in India and in Indian politics in 2018. So without further ado, let's start the list. Hello, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Sham Sharma Show. And today's show is special, folks, because today's show is not just a regular news show. Today's show talks about my hopes and my aspirations for India and Indian politics in this year of 2018. So it's a list of 5, and all 5 of these things are in no particular order. So it's not like 5 being the least important and 1 being the most important, but it's just 5 things that I'd like to see. All right, so let's start the list. A more strong and a more public support of Israel. I'd like to see India support Israel more openly in the international arena. You know, Israel has long helped us in the military sphere, in the agricultural sphere, with technology transfer. And if there's one country out there that mirrors the situation of India, it's actually Israel. And when you think about it, is there an all-weather friend that India has in the world? And I know that we have certain obligations and we have certain tie-ins with Iran, with the Chabahar port, and it's a very critical port and things of that nature. I understand that, but at the end of the day, we need an all-weather friend. We need allies that will stand with us no matter what. Iran might just disappear tomorrow when India is in trouble, but I feel like if Israel can see that we're ready to support Israel openly in the international arena, they'll stick with us. They'll stand by us in times of need. And number 4 is also an international one. It's India developing a better relationship with the United States. And I feel like the iron is hot right now because recently we've seen President Trump talk about Pakistan and about withdrawing the aid that the United States gives to Pakistan every year. And in fact, so till now, they've actually withdrawn this year's aid that goes out to Pakistan because President Trump has clearly said that Pakistan doesn't do nearly enough when it comes to tackling terrorism in its area. And for all the money that the United States has thrown at Pakistan and has given Pakistan, all the United States has gotten back in return is lies and deceit. Now, that's a very clear statement. I mean, a few presidents in the past have kind of made that suggestion, but it's for the first time that the US president had come out so openly and criticized Pakistan for its policies of sheltering terrorism. So I feel like it's time that the US is realizing that that Cold War era partnership is not going to work in 2018. And there's some clear fractures between the relationship of the US and Pakistan. And I feel like the time is ripe for India to take that position as the primary partner for the United States in the Asia region. The two countries have a lot in common. The two countries face a lot of similar challenges. So I'd like to see that. Number 3, I'd like to see PM Modi be a bit more vocal when it comes to some critical and controversial and contentious issues. Now, we've seen in the past couple of years since Mr. Modi got elected that he's been fairly reserved when it comes to some of the more controversial or some of the more contentious issues. And he's sort of tried to portray himself as more of a statesman and tried to focus on the bigger picture things like FDI, like infrastructure, like demonetization and things like that. And that makes sense because that was the platform that he ran his campaign on, which was Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So that makes sense. But I feel like what attracted a lot of people to Mr. Modi in the first place when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat was that he was a straight shooter and that he was not afraid to speak on some of the more controversial and some of the more contentious issues facing India. And that's what drew a lot of people, including myself, to Mr. Modi and supporting him for his prime ministership. So I would like to see a bit more of that firebrand Modi. I would like to see a bit more of him kind of expressing his opinion when it comes to some of these contentious issues. I also realize that the prime minister shouldn't get dragged into every little controversy happening in the country. But I also think that some of the bigger controversies, some of the bigger issues that the left and the communist nexus brings up every now and then, it's important for the prime minister to kind of stamp his authority and offer his opinion and give a very clear view of what he and his party believe when it comes to these things. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that firebrand Modi in 2018 as well. I'd like to see the Indian right present a more coherent voice. We saw the beginning of this voice in 2014 when, through the use of social media, the Indian right really found its voice and really kind of congregated together to create a groundswell of support across India for Mr. Modi and bring him to power. And I would like to see this voice elevated to the next level. We've already seen a lot of advancement in the unification of that voice of the Indian right when it comes to the year of 2017, but I'd like to see it become more and more coherent in 2018. We know and we see that communist Islamist nexus is very clear on its goals and is very focused and has a very clear, concise and coherent voice. And sometimes the voices of the right tend to be a little diffused. And I'd like to see a bit more coherence in that. Having said that, I don't want to see the right become this one singular block like the way the communist Islamist nexus is, because I'd like to see still some diversity of opinion when it comes to the right, but I would like to see a bit more of a coherent voice to be able to counter the narrative that the left espouses. And finally, I'd like to see the BJP do well in the 2018 state elections that are coming up. There are going to be 8 state elections in 2018. According to me, I feel like the most important elections out of that bunch is going to be Karnataka, is going to be Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. A lot of people are afraid that 2019 might just be like 2004 for the BJP, but I don't personally think that's going to be the case. However, having said that, momentum is very, very important in politics. And I believe it's important that the BJP keeps winning these state elections and take that momentum onto 2019 to be able to really perform well and get that second term. You can clearly see how it's not like 2004, 2019, because the BJP has been putting a lot of attention and putting a lot of effort into winning these state elections and not taking these state elections for granted, I feel like, apart from Bihar. And I'd like to see that same vein continue when it comes to these regional and state elections. The BJP is going to have some serious challenges in the 4 state elections that I just talked about. They did face some serious challenges in terms of the rural-urban divide in Gujarat, whereas the rural areas, BJP lost a lot of seats to the Congress party. And I feel like the Congress party and that left nexus is going to exploit that rural discontent against the BJP to quite an extent when it comes to these states, because these states are arguably a bit more rural than Gujarat is. So that's something that the BJP will need to watch out against. There's also that anti-incumbency in at least 3 of these states, like BJP had in Gujarat as well. So the BJP will have to watch against that too. So it's going to be very interesting to see these 4 elections, or all 8 of these elections, play out and see how the BJP does in all of these elections. I would like to see BJP do really, really well in at least some of the more important elections in 2018 and take that momentum into 2019. And that's my list. Do you agree with this list? I'd love to hear your opinions. Do you think that there's something that I missed out? And what would you like to see happen in 2018 in India and in Indian politics? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear your opinions. So let's get involved. All right, and that's today's show. Thank you very much for watching today's list. I hope you enjoyed today's show as well. If you are enjoying what we do here at the Shyam Sharma Show, please make sure to like the video, please make sure to share the video, and please make sure to subscribe to the show's channel. We're going to be back again with the Op India recap sometime this weekend, so make sure you go over to the Op India YouTube channel and check that out as well. You can follow me here on Twitter and get involved. Let me know what you would like to see happen in 2018 in India and in Indian politics. Again, thanks very much for watching. I will see you at the weekend, and until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.